Hello, folks. This is Wager Detective here. We're going to go over this game, St. Louis versus Dayton. Sometimes it's better to be, sometimes if you just listen to the stats instead of reading them, I understand it can be a little bit better. And these posts can get a little bit long, but I'm giving you all the facts on a particular game as usual. So with this one, we'll just run it down so you can hear it. Throw the headset on, just listen to it. This is Wager Detective. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All major platforms. Wager Detective is there. Okay, so St. Louis versus Dayton. Let's get into it. St. Louis is 3-7, last 10 versus Dayton. 2 over, 8 under, that 156.5. St. Louis is 0-7, last 7 at Dayton. 0 over, 7 under, 156.5. So St. Louis has lost the last 7 at Dayton. St. Louis on the season, they're averaging 90.1 points per game. They're fourth in the nation in field goal percentage with 51.7%. And they're looking pretty good. They're averaging 41.9 total rebounds a game with 19 assists. So pretty dominant on the glass. Elite efficiency, 60.7 in the paint. Defensively, they're pretty solid. I mean, look at this. They're only giving up 22 baskets on 61 attempts. Teams are getting up 61 attempts, same amount of attempts that they're taking. But they're giving up 9 less baskets than they're making a game. So something to keep an eye on there when you're looking at these stats. They're only giving up 32 rebounds a game. So right there you can see total rebounds, 41 a game to 32. They're plus 9 there in the rebound department. Okay, they're holding teams at 36.3% overall and 27.7 from three-point. Okay, and as we touched on, the rebound margin is nice. Assist production, 19 assists per game. That puts them at 7th nationally. St. Louis offense over their last 3 games. So we went from the season to the last 3. They're averaging 83.3. Right? So their offense has dipped a little bit, right? So 90.1 on the season and 83.3 over their last 3 games. 49% from the, so a slight dip there. 2-point percentage, so 55% the last 3. 60 on the, 40 on the year. So 40.8, excuse me. So they're shooting 55% over the last 3 games, but 60% on the year from 2-point in the paint. And then 3-point, they're only shooting 41%, but on the year, it's about the same. So 50, they're about equal there, okay? So defense last 3. Okay, they're giving up 71.7 points a game, and during the year, they're giving up 68. So they're giving about 3 more points a game over their last 3 games. Okay, their 2 best miscellaneous for St. Louis over their last 3 games, they're plus 6.3 rebounding margin, 38 to 31 on average per game, and they're plus 3.7 turnover margin. So they're 15 forced versus 13 committed. So something there in a tight game. They are playing a little bit better there as far as what they're forcing and what they're giving up on the turnovers. Dayton offense on the season, 45%. Okay, so if we look at that, 45%, and then we look at what they're giving up on the year for St. Louis, they're giving up 9 percentage points less on the field goal than what these guys are already shooting on offense. So that's a big dip for a team that's only shooting 45% on the year, right? And we look at 2-point, they're 53%, and then they're giving up 42% on the year, St. Louis. So big discrepancy there, okay? And then if we look at them, they're only averaging Dayton's only averaging 33 rebounds per game. That puts them at 300th in the nation, averaging about 14.3 assists a game compared to St. Louis's offense. Their last 3, they're averaging 16, and on the year, St. Louis is averaging 19. So 14 to 19. So St. Louis is just a little bit more efficient, right? Now, if we look at the defense for Dayton, Dayton has given up 43.7% on field goal percentage. And as we said here, St. Louis is scoring 51% on the season. So St. Louis, from what we know here, from what we're looking at, is a little bit more efficient as far as what they're doing, right? Now we look at what they're doing. 34 rebounds are allowed, and we already know St. Louis is grabbing 41 rebounds a game. So That's going to be tested. They're going to be tested on the glass, Dayton is. Okay? If we look at defense on the season, we know that they're very solid defensively, Dayton, right? And they're vulnerable from three. They're giving up 36% from 36.5% from three-point. That's 335th in the nation. And we know that St. Louis, offensively, is shooting 40%. 41% from three, right? And over their last three, they're shooting 41% as well. So they're very consistent from three. If the threes fall, I don't know if Dayton's going to be able to keep up with this 3.5. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know, history usually rules the day here for me, right? You haven't beaten Dayton in the last 7. You're 0-7. And we go back to it, you're 3-7 overall last 10 versus Dayton. But you're 0-7 last 7 at Dayton. These numbers are showing that St. Louis is pretty solid, right? Now, if we look at what St. Louis has done their last 3 games, again, they're averaging 33 total rebounds a game. And if we look at what St. Louis is averaging, they're +5 there, 38 total rebounds per game, right? And going forward, I'll have these spreadsheets pretty much laid out so you can see it visually and see what's going on. But this is why Wager Detective is who he is. It's looking at trends, data, last 3 seasons, and trying to formulate where the market is going and if the market's pulling away from these stats or they're going with them to know if the numbers are sharp. As you hear the video starting to take over here. Now, if we look at, if we're looking at this game, last 3, again, defensively, giving up 41.7, not bad. They've been playing better there, right? We can say that Dayton's been playing better, 41.7, giving up 41.2 from 2, but they're still giving up, look at that. Their perimeter defense is still shaky, giving up 42.6% allowed from 3. But Dayton's 2 best miscellaneous over their last 3. They're plus 8.7 rebounding margin, right? And that's what Dayton likes to do as well. So if I was to look at this game, guys, I would probably lean. I'm not going to push the pause. Okay, there you go. All right, pause isn't going to stay there. Okay, so if we're going to look at this game, I got to believe that St. Louis is going to find a way to keep this game close. I mean, in the beginning, Dayton might, with the home crowd, they might keep this close in the beginning, but if there was any chance of me believing that they can cover this spread, Dayton, it would only come from the fact that the last 10 meetings, Dayton owns them. But I'm sure that's bulletin board material for a team that's really, really good, St. Louis this year. And what they're doing, they're controlling the glass, they're shooting from 3 well, and they're 4th in the nation from field goal percentage, 31 out of 61, so they're getting 61 shots off a game. So if you're looking at pace, 61 shots a game, and we look at these guys, and they're getting 54. We look at the defense for the season for St. Louis, they give up 42%, right? They give up 42%. We look at Dayton, they're getting up 54 shots a game, right? They're getting up 54 shots a game, but St. Louis is only allowing 36. So even if we go in the middle there, 36 to 54 is 18, so we add 9, 45 shots a game, and you're making 36% of them. If I'm going with this game, just from a mathematical standpoint, I got to take St. Louis minus the 3.5, and I think the trend that probably holds true here is that this game goes under that 156.5. So that's going to be Wager Detective's call here at the 9-minute mark. We're going to call St. Louis minus 3.5, and then we're going to take the under 156.5. So that's Wager Detective's call. St. Louis minus 3.5, right? And under 156.5. This is Wager Detective signing off. Guys, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, where this is already posted at. But just a little sound bite for you. Wager Detective signing off.